So change the jaws out. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, and this just pops out. There's one. The new one pops in. 2. 3. And 4. And this is really why I got this chuck, because I wanted to have the capability of having different size jaws without taking so long to change between them, and not having to have designated chucks for each jaw set. So I'm hoping this is going to open up some different levels of creativity for me, and I'll keep you posted on that and let you know what I think about this product. I have a piece of this staved oak, different types of oak here, and I've made a mark here for a center and an end point, and there's another end point over here. This piece is 4 3/8 across, so what I did was go 2 3/16, 2 3/16, make 2 marks. Now I'm coming in here using my roughing gouge and just leaving this center line and rolling out to the edge so that I can start trying to sort of make this into a sphere. Okay, so I'm taking my roughing gouge and roughing this into a spherical shape using my parting tool to make a space for my roughing gouge to travel into, so I'm not going to catch the wing or the horn of the tool. And it's amazing how nice a finish you can get using a roughing gouge. Now I'm using my bowl gouge, and that's a bottom feeder bowl gouge. Now I'm coming back to my roughing gouge, and I'm really enjoying using that. It just works really well to get things roughed into shape and polish them pretty well. Now I'm back to the bottom feeder bowl gouge that has a 55 to 60 degree bevel on the bottom of it, and I'm just finishing off some of these cuts here, getting a nice polished edge on the end grain of this oak. Now I've removed the Sharpie mark I made in the middle, and I'm just refining the surface of this. I'm trying for slightly, not a perfect sphere, but more of a bulged sphere. And then the main reason I'm doing this is I want to test out the Easywood 4-inch chuck and see how well these large jaws will grab in this situation. So here I have this piece chucked up eccentrically. I polished this section down, and then what I've done is loosened up my chuck and I've tilted it. So I loosened this up and I tilted it down ever so slightly here. And now what I'm doing is getting ready to turn this eccentric portion here. So I have my lathe running down here around 800. I'm going to turn it up just a hair to 900 or 890. And I'm coming in doing a sweep cut through here. Okay, so here I'm running up around 8 times speed so that you can see the presentation of the edge of the tool while the wood appears to be stopped. And I'm just showing how I'm sneaking up on the edge here using a spindle gouge and my bowl gouge combination. There's my bowl gouge with a 55 to 60 degree bevel, and the tool I was using just before that was my spindle gouge. I probably should have been using my Irish grind 5/8 bowl gouge at that point, but I wasn't. Now I'm doing some sanding with some dust extraction. Okay, so now I have the position of my truck changed, and I'm going to be doing some turning here in this position. It's wobbling in a new direction. Okay, so now I am using my 5/8 Irish grind bowl gouge, and I'm doing some refining cuts down on this level of the wobbly art form. Here I'm putting some CA glue in the crack. Alright, got some CA going down in there. And a little bit of zip kicker. Grab that. Okay. That will kick that off nicely. Sometimes I'll just let it cure slowly. It's stronger if you let it cure slowly, but right now I don't really need it to be super strong. I just want it to kind of fill in. Okay, so now I've loosened this up and I've tilted it this way, about a 1/4 of an inch of tilt out of the jaws, and then retightened it extremely well. Now I'm getting ready to cut this section right here, and you'll see this section here is now concentric to the angle that I've created. Alright, I'm still using my Irish grind 5/8 bowl gouge, and I'm refining one of the last stages of the wobbly portion of this bowl just before I go back to going to a concentric position with my original turning. Okay, so a couple things here. I'm feeling pretty good about this Easywood chuck. It's real nice like this. Doesn't hurt when you come out here on any of the jaw parts. They're very soft. Even the actual section down here, let me stop it here, even out here, these pieces, if I run my hand in here, they've made a nice cove on the back side. Very, very user-friendly as far as not getting any catches if your hands are ever coming in contact with that. The other thing is the chucks. I have this fairly good sized piece of oak here running out of balance with no tailstock, and it feels like it's gripped in there extremely well. I just polished up this edge and this edge, and I'm now ready to send this back to number 1 position. So I'll do that right now. Number 1, and then what I'm going to do is bring my tailstock back down and reposition it just to make sure I am indeed really nicely centered. And as I can see right here, I'm not perfectly centered, so what I'll do, I'm going to loosen, zoom out a hair here. Okay, I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to try to get back to my original center point right there, and then tighten this down. Okay, and that should get me pretty well back to my original center. Now I can remove my tailstock again. And I'm going to be doing some final shaping on the bottom of this, and then getting ready to part it off. So yeah, that looks really nicely centered. Tighten this up a little bit more. Tighten. Alright, so I'm back to using my 5/8 bowl gouge, and I'm just finishing off the foot at the base of the stem on this wobbly art form. Doing a little refining and rubbing my bevel, creating a tiny bit of a scallop, and then I'll create a relief for where I will be coming in and parting this piece off. So there I used my parting tool to create the relief area and my bowl gouge to finish off the top. Now I'm almost there. A little more refining and creating a reverse bevel right at the edge of the foot because I thought it would look a little more interesting. And now I'm almost done. Whoops. Okay, so here it is, the finished piece. And it's a little wobbly ornament. I'm going to sand the nub off the bottom, and I'll put a little finish on it, and I'll take some stills.